My next piece of business here is to talk about Zachery. Betty and I met Zachery about a year ago, and we have been really impressed with them. They really care about this community and making it the best that it can be. Zachery is the president of the Young Democrats of Spalding County, and as such, they have led activities to further the education and activism in this county. They are also a member and officer of the Fayette Spalding Cooperative, which you'll hear more about later. Still, I mention it because Zachery is very active, taking part in donation drives and the food pantry support, among his many other activities. As a union member and a member of the working class, he knows what needs to get done. However, I find their vision for a future in Spalding County much more important. But I think I'll turn it over to them so that they can tell us about that vision. So without further ado, the next County Commissioner for District 4, Zachery Fuller.
Wow. So now I don't even have to introduce myself. I will say again, I'm Zachery Fuller. I'm running for County Commissioner District 4. I am a union worker. Shout out to local UFCW Local 1996. Their workers provided our food today. I love my job, and I love that the union provides us benefits, and that's something that everybody deserves, and a big reason I'm running. But before I really get into why I'm running, I do want to take a second for us to give a silent prayer and reflection for all the families around Rockdale County and the counties surrounding it. All right. It really is a failure of our development and infrastructure, I feel like, to let something like a biolab hazard and explosion and fire like that go on that affects so many people. And development is a big reason why I'm running, because when I talk to voters, that's what they tell me. Even if they're even if they tell me they're a Republican voting for Trump, or they're voting for Kamala Harris, or Libertarian, or however, everybody is complaining about the development standards. I was in a neighborhood in District 4, and they had just paved a couple new roads there. And I say a couple because they didn't pave the whole neighborhood, just a couple of the main roads. And they had left the driveway with a bump, about a half-a-foot bump across all the driveways. And a lot of these homeowners that I talked to, they contacted the county. They did their part and reached out, and they were told that nothing could be done because the development is over. In that same neighborhood, they were telling me, the ones that lived on the slope side of the neighborhood, that they have flooding when it rains in their backyard. And the county won't do anything, even when they've had somebody to come out. Nothing about it, even though they did not decide as homeowners that that was going to happen. It was a development. It was all a choice without follow-up. And that's what I hear. And I want to be able to represent the people. That's why I go out and talk to people no matter who they are or what background they come from. And I want to lower your property taxes. That's right, because it really does affect regular everyday people. I've heard people at county commissioner meetings saying, I'm a senior, I'm retired, I'm going to have to get a job. I'm going to have to come out of retirement and get a job, or I'm going to lose my house. And sometimes they've even paid for their house. It's when you live on a fixed income and inflation is as bad as it is, and then your own local government raises your taxes, it's putting you in a really bad position. But despite the Republican Party saying that they want to lower taxes, our own Republican commissioners have voted continuously to raise them. And so I'm running on something I feel like we could all agree with, and that's lowering the taxes, or at least use the money we get to benefit our community. The only other thing I'll say is I have heard from some people who do want to vote for Trump, or aren't decided if they're going to vote, that they're picking between the lesser of two evils. And in some ways that's true, but it's kind of different this time. Because not only has Trump been talking about the whole want to be a dictator thing and throwing protesters and dissenters in jail, which is crazy and shouldn't be happening in America, but not just that, when he was president, he did things like ban immigration from Muslim countries. He banned transgender people from joining the military, which affected people that I am friends with personally. They got kicked out. They wanted a career in our military to serve our country, and they were kicked out just because of who they were born as, and denied health care. And then even me, I was on my way up trying to rent and move out of my parents' house. When the pandemic hit, I lost my job because I was working at a restaurant and bar, so I'd have to deal with people, and that place shut down. So I had to get on unemployment insurance, which was expanded by Congress, which at the time was run by Democrats, thanks to the voters. But Donald Trump used his power as president to get rid of the extended benefits, and I ended up having to suck it up and move back in with my dad. And that's what a lot of young people have had to deal with. And that's not even talking about trying to buy a home. So many people I graduated with are working full-time, working multiple jobs, and have no idea how they're ever going to pay for a home. And we've got to change that. And that's why I want to work with Reggie and everyone else in this county to try and make sure we have a future. We can fight climate change, create a good environment, a safe environment, improve our schools, improve our infrastructure, and put more money in people's pockets when we come together. So that's why I'm running, and I hope if you live in District 4, win your vote. And if not, you should still vote for Democrats.
That's right.